Hi and welcome back. Until this point, we learned and reviewed the main characteristics of cloud computing, the three service models, and in the last section we covered the four cloud deployment options. I hope everything was clear until this point, and if you have any question, remark, some important suggestion, please use the course dashboard. So why using a public cloud service? All around us, we can hear that more and more organizations are facing this question whether this is the right way to go. What are the main benefits related to public cloud services? Is that only related to cost reduction, or there are specific technologies or operation advantages that can be translated to some business edge? I assume those questions are already running in your mind, and it is good time to discuss them one by one. Starting from the first key advantage or benefit while using a public cloud service is easy and dynamic scalability. Public cloud providers are using really mega scale data centers and networking infrastructure on a global scale, okay? Looking like unlimited resources. Now, of course, anything is limited at the end, but from a particular organization that is using the cloud service, this is like unlimited pool of resources. We can scale up by using more powerful computing nodes, or scale out by adding more nodes into a distributed cluster, and everything is on demand when we need it to support fluctuating or new evolving patterns of workload on our application. In addition, it is quite easy. It can be done using a web console, a CLI console, all kind of development tools and dedicated web APIs. Users can scale services, customize application, perform configuration, and access cloud services from anywhere with a simple internet connection. And last thing related to dynamic scalability is automation. You can automate the scaling in your system by setting condition, monitor and detect overutilized or underutilized resources, and adapt the system as needed. Easy and dynamic scalability is a powerful advantage related to public cloud service. Second benefit is economies of scale. Let's analog that to electrical production and consumption. Technically, each company can build a small scale power station and produce electrical power for internal usage. Sure, that's possible, but it's not really making sense for most companies. They prefer to buy that from a utility company and pay for ongoing power consumption. Now, the same concept is true to some level for IT infrastructure like data centers. Instead of building and maintaining a data center, it can be provided by external company like a public cloud provider. Imagine that thousands of customers around the world are using a specific cloud provider. Now, this cloud service provider can better utilize physical computing, storage, and networking resources for all those customers, reduce energy consumption, and reduce maintenance overhead. This is basically the idea with economies of scale, the cost advantage per unit with the increased output of units. Cloud service provider can enjoy operational efficiency as more customers are joining the cloud services. They can invest more in technology innovation and manage this mega scale data center much more effectively than a single organization. Now, from a customer's perspective, now they can better focus on their core business, technology and human resources, reduce overall cost, and more importantly, they can respond much faster to new challenges and new demands without worrying to the underlying IT infrastructure. And the last one is powerful world-class infrastructure for everyone. It doesn't matter if you are a small company or a giant enterprise organization. In both cases, you are sharing the same level of access to such mega scale infrastructure. So that's basically an advantage for small and medium sized companies. Saving money is probably one of the main reasons that companies are looking on cloud services. There is a still big debate if public cloud services are at the end really helping to save money. The answer is something in the middle. In some cases, it will save money, and in other, it may be more costly solution when looking on the long run. Still, cloud service providers are constantly adapting their pricing model to make their services much more attractive for more and more use cases. And we need to remember that money is not the only reason why companies are looking for cloud services, but definitely this is an important factor. Let's review some of the main money related things around public cloud computing. In the previous chapter, we saw that the public cloud is provided as utility service like electricity, and it is based on utility pricing model. You can pay as you go, paying for what is needed right now, paying per computing, storage, traffic volumes, or any other consumption unit. Let's take a simple example. You have a new project and you need some testing servers for a short time. In that case, you can allocate that from a public cloud provider. Run the testing for, 2 days, 3 days, and then turn down the servers. All that with the cost of few dollars. Basically, we are shifting yearly capital expenses in IT infrastructure to monthly operational expenses. Many software as a service solutions being used by many organizations today are already based on that approach. But not just that, such operational expenses can be reduced and optimized. For example, by utilizing standardized services, a company can reduce overall risks, reduce planning and implementation overhead, ongoing system maintenance, costly customization, integration efforts, etc. Okay, as a simple example, a company can use some server image or a package of software provided as a service that can be tested by the cloud provider and probably being used by many other customers. So basically, it is more standardized than any tailored or customized software package. In addition, the operational costs associated with cloud services are variable, okay, as they are based on real consumption. Looking, for example, on a particular month as a time interval, resources can be scaled up and scaled down as needed. So basically, the monthly payment will be variable according to the actual usage on that particular month. And the last one is less capital expenses. When moving to operational expenses, there are less long-term financial commitment. We don't need to buy anything. There are less upfront expenses on IT, like purchasing servers, storage, capacity, software licenses, you name it. Basically, we are renting instead of buying. Now we need to be careful about that because in some cases, investing in IT infrastructure, okay, using capital investment for a long period will be less costly than paying month after month for a period of time. Let's say 5 years. This is also called TCO, total cost of ownerships. This is why cloud service providers are providing some pricing calculators helping to estimate the cost and compare that to a private data center. You are more than welcome to open Microsoft, Amazon, Google, or any other cloud provider to take a look on the pricing model. Benefit number 4 is increased reliability. In traditional IT, one organization is usually use one or two data centers with several high availability options implemented in critical component, or maybe use another on-premise data center in different geographical location for disaster recovery. This is the common practice in IT. When we go to public cloud service providers, they're using global scale cloud infrastructure, enabling us to implement a system in multiple locations, load balance traffic automatically, and direct traffic requests near to the end users, helping to reduce the overall performance impact on the system. So in that case, a public cloud is much more distributed than any private cloud. In addition, cloud service providers are obligated to certain SLA, service level agreements. Now, in case they are not fulfilling the promised SLA, they will pay penalties. But not just that, cloud providers are constantly fighting with each other to achieve the highest cloud availability as they are building the company reputation for cloud services. So all those things are great motivators for cloud service provider to keep the cloud infrastructure in a great shape. Number 5, business agility and speed is probably one of the most important value proposition of public cloud services. As an example, let's say we have some web startup company, and over the last 2 months we had like a 50% growth in traffic, and the amount of users assigning to our web servers is keep rising. Now that's a great news. But our servers owned and operated by us are not holding this capacity demand, and now we need to upgrade the whole system. How long it will take us to design a new system, taking into account future growth, and then acquire and install the needed hardware and software, and so on. If we own the IT infrastructure, then we will probably be less agile, less flexible, and adaptive to things that are constantly changing. Now, by moving to a public cloud service, all those issues will disappear. We will be able to quickly adapt to changing business needs and reduce the time to market new products without costly upfront investment in IT infrastructure that is based on forecast and prediction. Getting the IT resources we need when we need them will help to provide better services to our customers, deliver project more quickly and in more predictive time. In addition, we will be able to focus in our core business instead on our IT infrastructure. Redirect our focus to product and service innovation, enabling the business itself to be more elastic. Some growing amount of companies today are actually using the cloud, the public cloud, as a business competitive edge. They are utilizing the power of public cloud service that available for everyone. Shift and better use human resources that are the main asset in the organization, allowing people to spend their time on other more useful activities that may offer a greater value to the business. Innovate faster because we don't need to first set up infrastructure before we can develop and deliver application. Today, organization can quickly allocate IT resources for different R&D initiatives, all kind of experiments and development projects with very low cost. Imagine that you are a software programmer in a company and you would like to test some interesting new feature as quick as possible. All you need to do is open an account in some public service provider, allocate the needed resources, perform the testing, and remove the setup when you finish. And last one is scale globally in hours or even minutes. We can easily deploy an application in multiple regions around the world with just a few mouse clicks. All those things are leading to the business agility and speed that is so critical for the digital business transformation. Number 6 is a little bit surprising statement, saying that public cloud is more secure than a private cloud or a private data center located on premises. Actually, one of the reasons that private cloud is considered a better solution compared to public cloud is because the organization data is located on premises inside the organization and not off premise in some unknown location. Now, many people assume that a public cloud is not secured as a private data center or a private cloud. Let's challenge that for a second. Let me ask you a question. Do you really think that most companies can really match the security capabilities of companies like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft? These giants are really good with what they are doing. They have the knowledge, experience, resources, and visibility compared to any single small organization around the world. If you will check the web, you will be able to see that cloud service providers are using and offering state-of-the-art security technologies like access management tools, certificate managers, key storage and management, web application firewall, denial of service protection, all kind of audit reports being used by auditors or regulators to match specific security certification. Some of them are even manage a dedicated 24/7 security centers. But at the end, those cloud service providers are providing tools, and those tools can be used in a smart way to reduce overall security risks or not. So yes, public cloud services can really help to reduce security risks, but that's also depend on how good those services are implemented and being used. Hi, and welcome to our first demo session. I'm planning to present Microsoft Azure Web Portal in high level, so we will get some understanding about the UI building blocks and some of the capabilities that this powerful tool provides us as users. Okay, we are inside, and what we can see is that the web UI is actually divided to three main areas. On the left side, we have the navigator with all kind of options to quickly access what we would like to do. In the middle is the dashboard. We can create all kind of dashboard to present some useful information. And on the upper side, there is a menu to access all kind of options. Let's start with the navigator on the left side, and I will click on this option, all services. I'm actually getting the all available services in Azure, and this is a very long list, and we can see it's divided to category. There is a general category, compute, networking, storage, and so on. I mean, this is a very long list of options. Each one will provide us some capability to maybe to create something or view some useful information. I can of course go into this option and filter something, like I would like anything start with the word virtual, and I will get the options to create virtual machines, virtual networks, and other stuff. Let's remove that. In addition, some of the services or options are marked with this star. Okay, and that's actually bring me to the list over here. This is the favorites on my selection, and you can choose what kind of options will be visible over here. Okay, I mean the list is very long, so it's not making sense to put everything on favorite, but essentially I can go into that option that's, for example, called subscription. Click here and it will be available as an option on my favorite, and of course I can change the location of that and put that whatever I would like. Let's go again to this option, all services, and go to the category compute, and under that to virtual machines. I can access that, as I said, from here, or if I have that over here, virtual machine, or under my favorite, clicking on that will bring me into the virtual machines option. You can always see where are you located right now. Okay, I started from the home and go into that option, virtual machines. And over here, I will get the list of virtual machines that I created as a users in my account. For example, this specific VM is called Win10 VM. We can see the type virtual machine, of course. It's running right now, and it has all kind of additional properties that we will cover later during the course, so we'll understand each one of these option. Basically, I can click add and start to create a new virtual machine. There is a wizard that we will learn how to use to create a new virtual machine. Now, the next option that I can do here is to click on that particular virtual machine as an instance. Clicking on that will provide me all kind of properties and setting options related to that specific virtual machine. During the section about virtual machine, we will review all the parameters and setting options and all kind of action we can do on a virtual machine level. But just for your understanding, right now we are under specific instance. So again, we can see that we started from the home, we went to virtual machines as a list of virtual machines, then we clicked on a specific instance, and this is the name of the instance, and that's the screen that we see right now. Again, the look and feel is the same. On the left side there is some navigator, okay, it divided to all kind of categories like monitoring, performing operation, and so on. There are of course many services that we can create by starting from this option, all services. This is just one single option to create a new virtual machine. But essentially, if you would like to create a resource in Azure, you have this option, create a resource. Clicking on that will provide us, again, some categories like coming from the Azure Marketplace. If I will click, for example, on compute, I will get all kind of operation system that I can immediately start to use. As an example, let's click on Ubuntu as a Linux operation system, clicking on that, and I will get the wizard to create a new virtual machine. And my selection, for example, this specific operation system will be selected automatically as an image, this Ubuntu Linux server. And there is a complete process divided to steps to create a new virtual machine. And we are doing that from this option, create a resource. Now, a resource can be a virtual machine, a resource can be a virtual network, an interface, a public IP, and many more. Let's close it. Going back to the home page. Now, another useful option is called all resources. Okay, clicking on that will show us the list of resources we provisioned under our account. Okay, and there are many different type of resources. For example, I created 2 disks, and you see the type over here. I created something that is called Key Vault for storing keys, storage account for managing my storage entities, a virtual network, the particular virtual machine that we just saw, a network interface, a public IP address, and something that is called network security group. All those options we will cover during our course. From this list, we can access a particular instance that we allocated. It can be a disk, it can be a virtual machine. As an example, let's click on a virtual network, and again I will get on the left side all kind of options to see all kind of properties related to that particular virtual network, or changing the setting and performing all kind of operation on that particular instance.